Hello, friends and family, and maybe strangers. I just want to make a video for you guys. For anybody who didn't get a chance to watch my Instagram live with my organizing tips, I wanted to come back and make another video, mostly before I cleaned all my mess up, so that I could maybe help some of you guys. I know we all have a lot of extra time on our hands, and we may be looking for something to do, and pretty much everybody I've ever known would love to get a handle on their files and their paperwork, and I'm very fortunate that I'm in a career field where I get to do that kind of for a living. So I've come across lots of handy tips and tricks, and I like to share them with everyone that I love. So if you're not my friend or family already, and you're just finding me randomly, my name is Heather Toledo, and I'm a personal organizer. I own my own personal organizing business here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm currently just hanging out in this office at my house and not really going to a lot of people's houses to organize. So my new way to help people is to just get behind the camera or in front of the camera and give you guys some of my tips and tricks and some fun things that I've found along the way while organizing. So let's get started. I went ahead and wrote out my process for you guys. It is backwards because that's how phone cameras work, but I will read it to you. My process, gather and set up, is number 1 right here. So that means we're going to gather all of our supplies and all of our papers that we're organizing, and we're going to set up our organizing station. So when I say gather all the papers, I mean everything in your house. All the stacks, all the loose papers, all the Post-its, all the scratch pieces of paper, notebooks that you have notes in, if those need to be filed somewhere, even magazines and newspapers, whatever you can find. Look in your junk drawer, grab receipts, figure out every little place that you put paper and bring it to your headquarter organizing station and just stack it all in one pile. Don't even try to organize it yet, okay? Just get it all in one place. We're also gonna set up in this stage. So we're gonna set up everything that we need. I have some bins and my filing storage set up, and then I've gotten some supplies out, which I'll show you guys in just a second. Okay. Second, we're going to decide and sort. This is when we pick up each piece of paper that we have stacked and we make a decision about it, where we're going to sort it, what bin it's going to go into, or what file folder it's going to go into. Is it going to be shredded, or does it need to be recycled or thrown in the garbage can? Do we need to mail it to someone? Does it need to be taken care of? All of those things are going to be options, and we'll have a place to put everything that you need to do, okay? So you're going to decide, make your decisions, and sort your paperwork one by one. Cool. Number 3, everything at home. Make sure everything has a home, which means it either lives in a folder or a box where it's going to be stored, or it has gone to the recycle bin, the shred bin, or the trash bin, okay? And then last is going to be labeling and getting fancy with your folders. And I understand that's the most fun part, but just think of that as your reward once you get through this big stack of papers that you have, okay? So once you find a home for everything, then you get to use your label maker or write cute labels and go buy some cute bins and folders if you want. I don't personally suggest that I use really plain stuff, so that's easily replaceable, but that's just me, okay? So I'm gonna take you down really quick here and show you my setup. All right, so here I have my supplies. I'll go over all of them with you real quick. Just writing utensils. I like to write with different things. I use these binder clips. If you know me, I use them for everything. Paper clips are very handy. Post-its, of course. I use regular size Post-its, and these, I'm going to show you how they come in real handy also. I put these keys up here to remind me to tell you about fireproof and waterproof safes for your very important papers. I have some Scotch tape, file folders, and bonus label maker, totally not necessary. Now, I've already organized my files. You're welcome. I'm not going to make you watch me do that. So I have two file bins here. That I've organized everything into. These are I wrote adult files. So just adult stuff, I don't know, banking and medical insurance and things that you have to have as an adult, and you have to keep up with these papers. So I have those here for just for the house, for my girlfriend, for myself, and for my business. I have very minimal folders for my business. Next up, I have a separate file bin for classes and courses that I've taken over the years that I want to keep. These are basically reference materials. I know right out of college I had a bunch of classes that I wanted to keep stuff for, but this is like business professional stuff that I've done, seminars and Dale Carnegie stuff. I have this little stand here. These are my everyday files. These are things that I need to get to pretty frequently, so they're very handy and available. I'm holding the camera backwards, so I don't really know what I'm looking at all the time here. And then back here, I got a little banker's box. This is a really small one I got from the Dollar Tree. You might want to reinforce it with tape if you get those. But I've put tax returns in it, as well as I have this little thing with my closed out business projects, just because I don't really need to get to those all the time. Down here is one of my tips to set up these bins. You can use cardboard boxes for these. You can even make piles on the floor. I just highly recommend that you label them with Post-its. So I have a trash bin, shred bin, recycle, to-do, and file. File I use for things that, I'm going to put you back up here. I use for things that I'm having a hard time making a decision on, as to not get bogged down or frustrated. So if I know I'm going to put it in the file eventually anyways, but maybe there's not quite a folder for it or something, I'll just throw it in that box and do it later. I don't want to get too caught up in the moment, The to-do bin, those are things that need to, an action needs to be taken, a bill that needs to be paid, or, I don't know, I had some unopened mail. I didn't want to open my mail and go through it while I was organizing, so things like that can go there. You'll be able to file them and take care of them easily after you have your system set up. And then recycle, shred, and trash, those are all things, you know what they are. And like I said, you can use cardboard boxes or just piles on the floors. For these, just remember to label them with Post-its and Sharpie. My two favorite things, besides binder clips. I'm not really sure which one's my favorite. Anyways, so you saw my files, you saw how I have them set up. That's what works for me. That's not really my tip for you, because I think that everybody's filing system has to be different, because everybody has different things going on in their life. So all I can say is pare down the papers as much as you can, as much as you're comfortable with. Get them into some sort of a system. And then when you're revisiting that system, it'll be easier to kind of update and move around, which is one of the big reasons I use all of the plain colored folders, because I change my mind on what works best for me so often that I don't want to be fretting about my folders not matching or something. So I just keep it very simple. Like my wardrobe, mostly black. My folders are all very plain as well. So let me go over my supplies really quick. Pens to write. I already went over my supplies technically, so I just wanted to show you a few things. First, I have this stack of folders. And if you look on the back of them, they've already been used. And what I do is, so this folder's already been used. I changed my mind. I didn't need this file anymore. Ta-da! It's a brand new folder. Okay? And, you know, I also do like, on some of them, I really needed to use. So I like put little Post-its over the labels. You can also label your folders like this with these Post-its. I just put 2 of them and some Scotch tape. Whatever you want. Anyways, I like to use folders in this way because I organize and reorganize a lot, and I don't want to waste new folders. So it just makes sense for me to use these older folders first, and then whenever I'm done, I can bust out the new ones. And these are not very expensive, especially if you use plain ones. Okay, so that, I do use the hanging files a little bit, like this right here. This is just to keep like groups of things in order, and they're totally not necessary. And these are not necessary if you like to only use the hanging files. I like the hanging files to group it together, and then I like to be able to grab whatever folder I need out. Okay, let's see. So that, reusing folders, that was a big tip and trick that I liked. Also, another cool thing about folders. So I showed you, you can reuse them and relabel them however you want. I also want to show you how important paper clips are. I know we all have them, but do we use them? So instead of having stacks of business cards thrown in your junk drawer, your office drawer, and not really ever knowing where they are, I highly recommend just paper clipping them inside of the folder that you would need to reference them from. For instance, if I have a couple of different doctors or my massage therapist, chiropractor, all their business cards, if you want to keep them and you're not quite there digitally, I don't keep my business cards digitally yet. I wish I did, but I'm kind of a grandma like that, so I just paper clip them right inside of my folder that says medical, and I always know where to find them. So that's cool. Another really cool thing about file folders, said no one ever, is these little lines right here. I don't think you can see them, but there you go. You can kind of see right there. I drew arrows on them here. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you can bend your file folder on any of those lines. I have 3 extra lines here, and all of a sudden your file folder is able to securely hold larger stacks of paper. Like this one can even hold like a book. Can hold a book, and the file folder is not going to go bad, like it's not bending or getting messy. And also it leaves your description tab, like your file tab up here, in the right place. Okay, so I just think that's really cool, and I hope you do too. What else? Paper clips, super important. I talked to you about the safe. I have one. It's down here, hidden under a scarf. I don't know why I would tell the whole world that, except for I really don't have super important papers. You would probably just get my identity, which you probably don't want. So go for it. Label maker, they're really exciting, but you don't have to have one. I think that's it. I wrote it down. Hold on. I don't want to make this twice. I would rather have to read my paper. Yeah, that's it. If that wasn't enough for you. So let me know if you have any questions. I think I'm posting this to YouTube, so I think that you can put questions below that. I'm also going to share the link on my Facebook page, and yeah, just let me know if you have any questions and show me your files. I want to see. Cool. Have fun.